Greetings from Pearl Academy. The Pearl Academy emphasizes the importance of rigorous management and enhancement of academic standards and quality. The external examiner is a significant element in our standard and qualities procedure and brings an independent and impartial perspective to the academic process by focusing particularly on the standards of our assessment processes and ensuring the fair and equitable treatment of students in assessments. This presentation has been created to induct our external examiners. The purpose of this external examiner induction presentation is to explain the key duties of the external examiner at Pearl Academy, introduce the Pearl Academy Quality Assurance System, and introduce the Academy regulations in respect of exceptional circumstances, academic appeals, and misconduct. External examiner reports comment through analysis and reflection on the standards and quality of our courses as demonstrated by student performance and the appropriateness of the assessment process in testing learning outcomes. The external examiner is a critical friend to the course leader and the course team. Specifically, external examiners help the Pearl Academy to ensure that A. The academic standards for each award and award element is set and maintained at the appropriate level and that student performance is properly judged against this. B. The assessment process measures student achievement against the intended outcomes of the course appropriately and is fair and equitably operated. C. The awards are comparable in standard with those of other higher education institutions. And D. We receive expert, external and independent opinion that can be utilized to enhance the standards and quality of our courses. In order to perform external examination, the external examiner will be party to the internal moderation process, normally sampling work that contributes to the final award. The external examiner will go through the module content of the assessment tasks that are used to assess students and review a sample of assessed work on site at the Pearl Academy campus. The approximate size of the sample of assessed work to be reviewed by the external examiner should be agreed with the course leader at the start of the course. The Pearl Academy's moderation policy provides indicative sample sizes, which is 10 to 25% of the cohort size. The external examiner will meet the course team and discuss whether the actions in the previous external examiner's reports have been acted upon and standards and quality thereby enhanced. The external examiner will discuss with the course leader and course team the strengths and distinctive innovative features in relation to academic standards, the operation of the assessment process, and the quality of learning. An external examiner must normally be present at the Board of Examiners meeting that agrees with the final award. There is no need for attendance of progression boards by the external examiner. The external examiner should always sign the conferment statement to confirm that they have been involved in the assessment of students and agree with the final recommendations reached. The external examiner submits an annual report in the format prescribed by the Pearl Academy on the standards and quality of the course or courses and awards for which they are responsible. This report is used in the production of the annual course standards and quality report and for course monitoring and enhancement generally. In order to carry out the preceding responsibilities, an examiner will meet with the students to enable him or her to judge the overall quality and standard of the courses. This does not, however, give the examiner the right to carry out a viva voce examination of individual students. For courses operating to the standard academic year, appointments of the externals will run from September of the first year to December of the fourth year. That is, for example, from September 2013 to December 2017. A new external examiner will be mentored by the external examiner who has been involved with the course from an earlier date. The external examiner is required to reflect in his or her annual report on the level and appropriateness of the assessment procedures and standards of student attainment in the light of his or her experience of the subject provision nationally. The external is also invited to comment on strengths and distinctive or innovative features of the course. It is anticipated that an external examiner report will also include comments and observations which the team will wish to respond to outside the rubric of the CSQR and within a reasonable time frame. The report must not refer to individual students or staff members by name. At the conclusion of a Board of Examiners meeting, the external examiner will normally be asked to raise verbally any concerns of good practice that are likely to lead to action points in their report. The report should be submitted via online external examiner link within a month of the process. In support of its commitment to deliver high quality and continuously improving courses, Pearl Academy operates a system of external examining. This system involves academics and practitioners of suitable standing from outside the Pearl Academy in a process which is intended to ensure the comparability of the academic standards with other international and national higher education institutions, deliver independent oversight of assessment processes, and give course teams the benefit of an impartial perspective on the running of their courses. This policy is set out in Section 7 of the Academic Quality and Standards Handbook. The external examiner report is received by the Academic Administration Office, which then puts it up in the Pearl Academy's LMS Moodle for students to read. The Academic Development Office receives the report from the academic administration and then disseminates it to the campus directors, heads of department, and Academic Quality and Standards Department. It is the requirement of the Quality Assurance Academy, that is QAA, that external examiner names, positions, and institutions are provided in the course pages of the Pearl Academy LMS Moodle, and external examiner reports must be made available in full for students to read. For courses operating to the standard academic year, external examiner appointments run from the September of the first year to December of the fourth year. To request an extension to the period of appointment, there should be a strong rationale for doing so. Only in exceptional circumstances may the total period of appointment for an external examiner exceed 5 annual reporting cycles. An external examiner must not be overextended by the duties. He or she should not concurrently hold more than the equivalent of 2 substantial external examiner appointments. The external examiners will make an annual report using the Pearl Academy online reporting format. The reporting system can be accessed using the login and password sent to each external examiner by the CADQ with the appointment letter. The report should be submitted via the online external examiner link within 4 weeks of the Board of Examiners meeting. The report will cover academic standards, the quality of learning, and the operation of the assessment process. The report may also include comments and observations which the course team will wish to respond to outside the rubric of the CSQR and within a reasonable time frame. As mentioned earlier in the presentation, the report must not refer to individual students or staff members by name. The first part of the EE report is about academic standards. The external examiner is required to reflect in his or her annual report on whether the course team has addressed relevant subject benchmarks and professional standards through relevant teaching and assessment strategy. The report must also comment on the level and appropriateness of the assessment procedures and standards of student attainment in the light of his or her experience of the subject provision nationally and internationally. Part B of the external examiner's report is on operation of the assessment processes. The examiner is required to report on A. The standard of student performance in the assessment for the courses. B. The appropriateness of the processes for assessment. And C. That the determination of awards are sound and have been fairly conducted. If the external examiner has major concern about the internal moderation of marks for the samples they receive, they have the right to access all student work that is assessed in their area of responsibility for the purpose of further monitoring and checking. The external examiner does not have the authority to alter individual marks. However, it may be appropriate for the external examiner to recommend a review of marks in a particular mark band. Part C of the external examiner report is on the quality of learning. The external examiner is required to report on whether the assessment tasks and designs were related to the learning outcomes and if they have enabled students to demonstrate achievement of these outcomes. The external examiner will also see samples of the feedback forms. There are 4 grounds of appeals for students at Pearl Academy. They are notification of exceptional circumstances, reconsideration of marks, academic dishonesty, and attendance debarment. The external examiner is informed of the decisions made by the appeals committee and their consent is taken through the email. As an external examiner, you can expect to be informed of the assessment regulations and conventions, major changes to the course, and be given the opportunity to comment on the same. You can expect to contribute to discussions about student assessment outcomes, the basis for monitoring the moderation process, to recommend a review of marks in a particular classification band, to have access to further assess student work if you have major concerns on the basis of the sample, and to receive a response to points raised by you in your report. In exceptional circumstances, to withhold signature on a conferment statement and to report directly to the CEO on matters of major concern. Thank you.